What's up, everybody? Welcome to Nine Vibes. So, what we are going to be kicking off is people have been asking me a lot of questions. So, I thought what I would do is I would do some live recordings and then I'm going to go ahead and just upload them so people have access to this knowledge. So, what better day to kick off an epic question when it comes to science and when it comes to math than Schrodinger's cat? I've been asked a lot how Schrodinger's cat actually applies to things, and I think it would be really great to talk about it because I'm going to explain how it also applies to spirituality. All right? So let's go ahead and dive in. So the ultimate question is, what is Schrodinger's cat? Schrodinger's cat is basically a quantum algorithm or formula that was performed by Erwin Schrödinger in 1920s. And basically what it was is he took a cat and he took a box, and on one end of the box he put toxins and poison, and on the other end of the box he put food and water. And so what he ended up doing is he closed the box. And when the box was closed and nobody could actually observe what was going on, he concluded that the cat in this state is both alive and dead. Because until you open the box, you do not know whether or not the cat is alive or whether or not it's dead. And so as long as it's closed, it's unseen. And if it's unseen, well, then it's in the quantum. And that's basically what this is. In the 1920s to 1927 to 1930s, you're going to see a lot of famous people who are coming out with quantum theories. There was actually a convention in 1927 that basically had all of the Nobel Peace Prize winners, and you kind of see them all from Schrödinger to Einstein, to other ones. So the understanding about this is that when you place the cat in the box, it is currently alive as you see it. Because of the fact that there are two options that it can choose inside of this box, you don't actually know which one is chosen until you open the box. Once you open the box, your observation is going to conclude at that point that something is chosen. So the best way to put it also is that when you cannot see what is actually inside the box, there are two possible options. There is the fact that the cat could be alive or the fact that the cat could be dead. But as long as you don't open that box, you're in a state of quantum superposition, which means that both can actually exist at the exact same time. Okay? So when you learn about computers, you learn about binary. Binary is just ones and zeros. So when your computer first learned to turn itself on, it basically got a little bit of a program. The program would say, do you want 1 or 0? 1 will be on, 0 will be off. That's as simple as it gets. It was just one option or the other option, and that's how your computer works. As we continue getting into smarter computers and quantum computers, the options expanded. So instead of being on or off, it actually could be on and off at the same time. Or more importantly, it could be any state it wanted to be between being on and being off. Okay, so when you take those ones and those zeros, basically quantum allows you to be 1 and 0 if you want to, 1 or 0 if you want to, or any possible state between 1 and 0, which could be 50%, could be 20%, could be 80%. It's completely up to you. So that's what quantum is. Quantum is where you step into a space where anything is actually possible. And it's very simple to step into the quantum because all you have to do is close your eyes. Close your eyes for a moment and just imagine your room. And as you're sitting there, here's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you 100% certain that the things in your room are actually there when you are not observing them? Now, the average person would say, yes, absolutely. If I'm not observing them, it's still going to be there, no question about it. But when your eyes are closed, when you cannot actually see, feel, touch, smell, or taste, you don't actually know 100% that they are there. It is only when you open your eyes, it is only when you touch something, it is only when you smell something, when you taste something, that you actually perceive that type of reality. Okay? So Schrödinger was brilliant. Now, other than the fact that he used a cat, used a live animal, the understanding is that there's a space that we can actually be in where anything is possible. And because of this, you now have quantum mechanics. All right. Now, how does this apply to spirituality? Because that's the real question. And this is where it gets kind of cool because it applies to spirituality when you think of God. Okay. God is Schrödinger's cat. You don't know what God looks like. You don't know anything really physicality about God, right? You just have the understanding that it exists. Just the same thing with the box. You know that the cat exists. You just don't know whether it's alive or whether it's dead based off its decisions. So for us, God is the quantum. In fact, the most important thing about quantum is once you observe something in the quantum, it instantly closes all other possibilities and has that one observation, right? That's what the double slit experiment was showing you. It was showing you that when it is being measured, when it is being watched, it closes all other possibilities and chooses one answer. But if you are not watching it, it has multiple paths that it can choose. So the same thing happens when it comes to God. For us, as long as we keep God in the quantum, as long as we keep God as anything and everything and every possibility, then that's where God stays. But the moment that you decide God is here, or God's in the Bible, or God's, in this person, but not in this other person, you are actually collapsing the quantum at that point, and you're placing God into those actual locations, into those positions. It's no longer superposition. And see, one of the coolest things about God, whether you are talking about the Bible God, your own personal walk, is that when it's in the quantum, it is universal for all. That's one of the best things about it, is when God is in the quantum, it's universal for everybody. And that's one of the things that I teach at 9 Vibes, is that there is no specific God, no specific path. It's all paths, all options. God is all around you. And when I really get down to it, the photon of light has a choice. It has a choice to be seen and become a particle of light, which is what everything is around you, or it has the choice not to be seen and stay as a wave. And as long as it stays at a wave, we never actually see it. Okay, so the moment that you actually observe something and it chooses it wants to be seen is the moment that you actually see something. So the understanding is that the goal is to keep God in the box, keep God in the quantum. That way you're never offended when you're on a walk and it doesn't align with someone else's, because they're dealing with God too. I'm dealing with God. You're dealing with God. Everybody is. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And it is only when we try to make the world that is quantum naturally binary that we cause problems. All right. So I hope that explains a little bit about Schrödinger's cat, a little bit of information about quantum mechanics. And again, I'm going to just be answering questions as they come. I'll throw them up in a video. I'll get them uploaded for people, and you guys can enjoy them. Keep your 9 Vibes aligned.